I am with Dr. Vijay Belani. Sir, welcome to this podcast and lovely talking to you.
Mukherjee.
Sir, Vijay Z Belani. Z का मतलब क्या है? What is the meaning of Z?
Z is no expansion. When I was first applying for my passport in '74,
अच्छा.
the passport authorities asked me either to delete it or give an expansion. There is no expansion. My father's name is Bhagwan Das, and it cannot be deleted. It's right there in my school records. So I used to visit the passport office very often in Delhi. I'm from Delhi. One day when Sardarji, a kind man, asked me in Punjabi, saying, "Young man, why you come here every day?" I said, "This is an issue." He said, "Sit down. Here's a paper. Write down to the RPO." The Z has been included basis astrology, religion and superstition by my family. It has no expansion and cannot be deleted. I request you to issue the passport. In 3 days I had my passport in hand.
So your father is also a doctor, right? Was also a doctor.
Yeah, he is now deceased. He was also a doctor.
So he also had Z, any XYZ?
No, he had his father's name as his middle name.
I see. So, Dr. Belani, and you are well known and everybody knows you. You've been ages and one of the most senior most persons in our industry. So, and you say your father was also a doctor, but he was not linked to maritime.
He was not linked to maritime. He was in Delhi, and Delhi was not a maritime hub at that point in time anyhow. He was not linked to maritime at all.
But how did you, of all the things you could have done with your career in medical, how did you and why did you join, you started off a medical clinic in maritime?
The first question should be, why am I in Bombay, rather Mumbai now?
Yeah, and
why
you
did
started
I
off
come
in
to Bombay?
Delhi, yes.
I'm from Delhi. So I would have just put it all to destiny. I'm a firm believer in destiny. It has been 15 days since I came to Mumbai, when my father's colleague from Mumbai called him and said, "I heard you were telling me your son is to move to Mumbai. Has he moved? If he has moved, would you like to work part-time with me in Shipping Corporation of India?" The deputy CMO was my father's friend. He said, "I will tell my son to get in touch with you." And I was wanting to grab any opportunity to earn a professional income. So on the 16th of February, I was working in Shipping Corporation of India as a maritime doctor.
So you were employed with Shipping Corporation of India.
Shipping Corporation.
So how much time did you spend there?
5 years.
You were the in-house doctor?
In-house doctor, examining seafarers.
Okay. And then you started off, tell us about the journey, from being an employee to an entrepreneur to starting this empire.
Whilst I was in SCI, I was approached by the or I would say the local MD of Uniman Ship Management, Mr. Sehgal, whom I had known from Delhi through some connection, and he said, "We need a doctor who's available to us on a regular basis throughout the day." They had a doctor who was available only for a short period of time, and they were growing. They had their office in Air India building. I said, "Yes, I would be very happy to do that." And that's the time I took up a office space in a polyclinic for a major part of the day to work with the Uniman.
So what are the challenges, getting into a new industry with new people? How did you get to, of course you had your roots in SCI, so you knew about the industry. What were your challenges of starting this new clinic, something new in the industry?
Well, I was thrown in a sea of sharks. When I came to Mumbai, everybody was established, and some of my cousins who were in Mumbai told me that who would even come to you if you start a general practice? Everybody has their own doctor, so who would come to you? So I said, "Let's try my hand." It doesn't mean that no new doctor will ever open a clinic. I came with the confidence, if things don't work well, I can go back to Delhi. I went to a very elitist school in Delhi, and my classmates, one of them heads Coca-Cola currently. Their family owns Coca-Cola franchise. The other one runs the Escorts family. He's a scion of the Escort family. And so I said, "I'll go back to Delhi." And I told them if I ever become a doctor, 2 days with you, 2 days with you, 1 day on my own, Saturday, Sunday off. So that was my dream as a doctor, be a corporate doctor. So I came with that confidence, and that confidence worked well. It started rolling by word of mouth in Mumbai. From Univan, somebody called Mr. Sehgal, then MD of Univan, that they were not happy with their doctor and would like to know if they could use Univan doctor for their services. Mr. Sehgal gave me a very good, strong recommendation. And then things started to roll by word of mouth. Of course, it was difficult. It was an uphill task. But I had my patience and I had my goal very clearly in front of me. And I said, I must say I had the support of my family, my parents, my wife, who supported me wholeheartedly. I used to work averagely 14 to 15 hours a day.
So we have, this is in Mumbai, this is Mumbai and this is the city of dreams. And we always listen and hear about stories of people coming from all around the world and all around India to make their dreams come true in the city of Mumbai. And here we have Dr. Vijay Belani, who came to set up an entrepreneurial base from Delhi to Mumbai, to set up an entrepreneurial base in Mumbai and see what he's built, a huge empire. How many years did it take you to taste success in Mumbai?
Well, I would say it took me 4 years to feel independent and say that now I'm grounded and on my way to be an independent practitioner in maritime health.
Wow! And tell me something about Madam, sir. When did you meet your soulmate and when did you meet Mrs. Belani?
I first met her in 1974. I was working as an intern with a very eminent surgeon in his nursing home in Delhi, where my now wife Ruchika's father was admitted for surgery.
Oh,
so that's
destiny, I think.
That's destiny again. So that's where we first met. I was an intern dressing her father's surgical wound, and that's how we got to know each other, and it then blew into a full-blown romance, and we got married.
Wow! And just from the fairy tale movies, And then so your wife also is a part of this business, or
she's a part of the business. I think she's a major part of the business. She's the biggest motivator. There have been ups and downs in my professional life, and she stood by it always as a very strong lady, motivating me to do things differently. And I'm very grateful that she sees things correctly, though she's not a medico herself.
Okay, now I wanted to ask you something which is about your tastes. I know you for many years and in the industry knows you. You are a man of extreme fine taste, and with the kind of curios that you keep in your office, to the kind of things that you wear, kind of things that you eat, and even the tea that you have. So what is it with your so exquisite and so person-like tastes? And did you start this as a hobby of collecting curios or something?
So when we were growing up, we were in a joint family. And I remember my father's eldest brother always says, "Sasta roye bar bar, महंगा roye ek bar." So go for quality.
Wow, sasta roye bar bar,
महंगा
roye ek bar.
So that's how I started. And the first thing that I ever picked up on my own, which was branded and which was expensive, we were always made to feel guilty if we spent on anything more than necessity. Because our family came after partition and we didn't have a lot of disposable money. So the first item which I ever bought for myself was a Cartier watch. Way back in the late 80s, I had collected money and my wife was not very happy because we had other important things to do in life. We were settling down in Mumbai. So I said, all other things, nobody will be deprived, but I want to buy this dream watch. So I bought a Cartier's Panther watch.
Wow! And then the journey continues in buying and getting your showcase filled with kind of exquisite. I've seen, and today we'll take a short tour on your collection. So after you settled down, about 4 years, you said you started tasting success. So you started working with more and more companies and more seafarers. How has the journey been over so many years now?
Well, the journey has been, every day is a different day, it's a challenge. I look forward to it. I'm very passionate about what I do. Having started my clinic in Colaba, I also shifted my residence from Khar to Capt to avoid the travel. And at that time, Indira Docks was a very busy dock, and I was called in at least 4 evenings in a week to attend on some sick crew on board a ship.
Okay.
So I thought it's best to be close to the clinic also and spend more time with the family. Having moved into Capt, I had got a chance to treat Mr. M.F. Hussain, the famous artist's daughter.
So did he give you a painting free or something like that?
Oh, he did not give me a painting free of cost, but he gave me a painting at a huge discount.
And I know that you have a punch out for collecting paintings, and you invest in paintings as well.
I'm
right?
an art collector, so that's how my journey started. And then in the next door building stayed the late Mrs. Prabha with her husband, who was also an artist and a sculptor, very well known, B. Vittal. She was unwell, and one day she just collapsed at home, and I revived her, and she gave us a painting as a gift in remembrance of what I did for her.
Oh, that's great. And
so then we got in touch with, then we were exposed to a lot of art curators, art galleries, and we started to collect some masters. We have some very well known masters in our collection, including S.H. Raza, Bendre. They're very well known, very expensive pieces of art.
oh wow. So yeah, so what tell me something about your day-to-day routine, Dr. Belani. You live in town, Capt, and you have your flagship store here as we are here in Narendra Point. You also have a setup a clinic in Andheri. Are these owned by you, both of them?
And Goa, Capt. Mukherjee, all 3 premises are owned by us. So that somehow was our family tradition, that please own your properties, and that's how you'll be successful in business. In those years, today there's a paradigm shift in the thought in how the youngsters look out, how my children see. They don't want to invest and block their capital in real estate. They rather invest and make more money out of the capital. But yes, our office premises are all owned.
Yes, so that's one way of thinking about it. That you are the boss and you are the landlord of your own.
And
premises.
one feels secure. It gives a sense of security.
Yeah. But what are your plans now that you've solidified? Do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself and the clinic going in the next few years?
Well, my dream now is to corporatize the clinic, make it more professional and organized. And we have started to work towards that objective.
Very good. So, Dr. Belani, you are in touch with so many seafarers most of the time. And how do you spend time in both the institutes together, both the clinics together? I'm sure you visited Goa and then Andheri clinic and then town. And then do you also talk to the seafarers who are coming on a one-on-one level?
So first, how was spent time in Mumbai? There's been a shift in the axis. All shipping companies have moved out of Nariman Point and Ballard Estate into Andheri East, Andheri West and Powai. So we are right in the middle of the hub in Andheri East. I'm in Andheri East at least 4 times a week, minimum 3 times if not 4. I speak to seafarers 1:1 because these days we have a lot of lifestyle diseases, and it's not only that we want to prescribe medication for diabetes or hypertension, we need to counsel the person, because in India people feel if they don't have fever or pain, they don't suffer from any disease. So it's very important. Most of them are in denial. It's important to motivate them to change their lifestyle, continue with medication, not stop medication unless advised by a doctor.
Right. So, Dr. Belani, I would want your thoughts on one particular issue. When we were sailing, there were certain types of diseases that the seafarers were, were warned of. They were warned of AIDS, they were warned of sexually transmitted diseases, but then shipping has changed drastically. So do you think there is a shift from the kind of diseases also that plague the new
Yes,
seafarers?
absolutely. I would say yes. When I started my practice in '81 with seafarers, much before you went to sea, our focus was sexually transmitted diseases, mainly gonorrhea and venereal disease. Then came AIDS, but there's a lot of awareness now, and we don't see so much incidence as we used to see earlier. There has been a shift. There have been stresses of modern life. So there's a lot of, I would say, a lot of psychological, mental health issues. I would not like to use the word mental health, but just for clarity, there have been stress-related diseases which have come to the shore, and of course these lifestyle diseases are so very common now. India is racing towards being the capital of diabetes in the world.
So what is your advice to the seafarers? How do they work towards, apart from the normal things that we all have to do, like swimming, like eating well, like going to sleep early, waking up early, things like that. But other than that, we always had a kind of non-sick tenure on board. We remember we used to do years and years of without even falling sick on board, but because the climate is such that the weather, the water is such that it's good for the health. So what is your advice to the seafarers when they go on board now? How do they keep staying healthy and mentally well?
So human beings are social animals, and this is the biggest enemy that we have today. Everybody is isolated, whether ashore or on board, as I'm aware. When they have free time, they retreat into their rooms and cabins, and they're on social media. I have 13 days, and I think that was the best time of my life. I knew exactly at this time of the day, if I went to the mess room or if I went to the TV room, who are the people, who are the officers I would meet. Today, people are not meeting, there's no emotional or social interaction. So that emotional cocoon, talking to each other, is such an important aspect in life.
So you mean to say that because of the advent of this, a lot of issues are happening on board as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody sends a message, oh, I saw your wife with a man in the market today. Well, that man was my cousin brother.
So the wife must have been going on with that man, but then वो mobile था ही नहीं तो
So these are issues, and then the officer or the crew member on board starts to think what's going on.
So it's mentally very upsetting
Yes.
for the person.
And when you're thousands of miles away, isolated, not able to talk, it's a big challenge.
So Dr. Belani, if I have to ask you to choose 5 or advise 5 things that should be practiced by all of us for a happy life. I mean, it's very important that we mentally stay happy also. Physical happiness is in fact
Related to mental health. Yes.
So 5 things that we need to have in our lives for happiness.
So the one in foremost paramount importance, moderation.
Moderation.
Moderation. So moderation
In what? In
exposure to social media, moderation in food, moderation in alcohol, smoking, adequate hydration, and good nutritious food.
So how much water do I need to have every day? 3 liters,
So
4 liters?
3 liters is average, but if somebody is working in the engine room, could be up to 5 liters.
5 liters.
Yeah, and enough adequate rest. Don't let social media eat into resting hours.
So we are talking to Dr. Vijay Z. Belani, and like I said, we are having a one-on-one discussion and chat, and this is a lovely discussion on the health, welfare, fitness, and about your life as well.
Thank you.
And I want you to shed some light on leadership issues, like I'm sure a lot of people, like I said, thousands of people want to do their own stuff and start their own business. But most of them, and some of them fail, they just go back into oblivion. But you stuck on to your dreams and you build an empire. So for people who want to start off new, what is your mantra for success?
Mantra of success is persistence of purpose. Consistence and persistence of purpose. Don't give up. Don't give in. Because success doesn't come overnight.
Success does not come overnight, and overnight is just about 12 hours, and nights after nights and after nights, and you got to keep it on, keep it going. And I have heard this same sentence from a lot of leaders, and this is a common sentence which a lot of leaders, successful people say: success does not come overnight. Doesn't mean that success only comes in the day, because success can also come in the night, but it doesn't come overnight. So, Doctor, any last words on the students who are the new generation students? It's much different from what the times have changed. The skills. Do you see the skill levels totally different in the new generation of students? How do you feel they are?
Well, I feel the approach and attitude is also different. So my suggestion, if at all, I'll say my lifetime experiences and what my sermon to them would be, with all the automation, things have become easier. Do not take any chances, don't take things for granted, follow the processes as they have been laid out. Safety is very important.
Safety is very important, and with that I want to take a tour of your showcase. I want to see each one of the stuff, the wonderful stuff that you've collected all throughout. Do we get to see your Carter watch also? No.
Cartier, I'm not wearing my Cartier.
Okay. So, but we'll raid your showcase, and we'll just see your heroes and your collectibles, and then I'm going to see everything that that makes you the man you are. So, thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
thank you, Dr. Capt.
Thank you.